Hi kids! Welcome to this session of Camp Crate Joy. My name's Michelle and I'm a program specialist with the Girl Scouts of Central Texas. Girl Scouts is a leadership development program that focuses on 4 areas: entrepreneurship, STEM, the outdoors, and life skills. We've got a ton of virtual events lined up all summer long, so I invite you to take a look at our website, gsctx.org, to see what interests you. Today we're going to focus on life skills, specifically health and wellness. We're going to start off with a game to build muscle, then we'll learn how to do a healthy snack, and we'll end with a twist on the obstacle course. I have a question for you. Who here likes popcorn? Normally I could eat this bowl of popcorn with just a few handfuls, but not the way that we're going to do it today. We're going to play a game called popcorn push-ups. Have you ever done that before? Well, after you do it with me today, I challenge you to try it tomorrow with a friend, and you can do it kind of online like we're doing it now. And then maybe the next day you could do it with someone that you live with. So first of all, you put your popcorn bowl on the floor. And the idea is that each time you go down with your push-up, you can eat some popcorn, but only that way. First of all, I'm going to put my hair back in a ponytail so you can see what's going on. And I want all of you to get into push-up position. So put your hands on the ground a little bit wider than shoulder width apart with your index fingers pointing forwards. And when you go down, keep your elbows against your side. You don't want them to be out like wings. And put your feet back. Pull your belly up to your spine in order to hold your core tight. And if you can't do a regular push-up, you can do a modified push-up on your knees. But I challenge you to see if you can at least start with it on your toes and do that each time that you do push-ups. So maybe one day you will be able to do it on your toes. And then the next day, after you've built up more muscle, maybe you could do some more. And by the end of the month, who knows how many you can do on your toes. Okay, ready? So I'm gonna start out and I'm gonna count and you do it with me. Okay, ready? Let's go. 1. Woo. 2. Okay, I have to go down to my knees. 3. 4. 5. 6. And you just keep going until you kind of feel like your arms are gonna give out. 7. 8. You get the picture. So, how many can you do? And then tomorrow, figure out how many you can do and see if you can beat that record the next day. Now we are going to make a healthy snack. The first thing that you should do is wash your hands. I've already done that, so I'm ready to go. The inspiration for my healthy snack today is the frozen yogurt places that my kids and I like to go to. We haven't had a chance to go in a while, so I was trying to think of a way that we could kind of recreate that experience at home. So today we're going to make frozen yogurt bites. And what I really like about it is that you can get creative and adjust the recipe based on what you like to put in your food. The way that we're making it today is with berries. You can have fresh berries, or I've used frozen berries, which I've defrosted in the microwave because they need to be a little squishy for our purposes. Then you need yogurt. I chose vanilla yogurt because it's a neutral flavor that goes with lots of different types of fruit. You can use plain yogurt and maybe add in a little bit of honey to cut the tartness. And the last ingredient that we need is granola. If you don't have granola, you can use some sort of crunchy thing like a cereal. For equipment, you need a bowl and spoons and a fork. I've got a napkin because my hands tend to get a little messy. You need a muffin tin. This muffin tin is silicone, so and it's squishy. So if you have that, you won't need muffin cups, but if you have a regular metal muffin tin, then you need some muffin cups to go inside there, some paper liners. And if you don't have a muffin tin at all, you can just use some sort of container that will fit into your freezer. So the first step is to mash up the berries. I want to use a few berries on top for decoration, so I'm gonna choose some of the best looking tiny ones. I'm gonna take a strawberry and a blueberry. No, wait, that's a blackberry. And a blueberry. I'll do 2 blueberries and set them aside for later. And then you pour the rest of your berries into your bowl. Then you use your fork to mash them up. You can use a spoon, but I find the fork to be handy for really squishing it in there and poking it. Now, what if you don't like berries? You can put in a different type of fruit. Maybe you want to use peaches, maybe some pineapple. A lot of people do kiwi, where they kind of slice it and put it on top. Or you don't have to use a mix of berries. You can use just blueberries, just strawberries. Ooh, you know what would be really good? Cherries. I love fresh cherries. You do have to take all the pits out of them first. You could say that's the pits. So they don't have to be completely mushed up. You want them to be mushed up enough. So can you see that? I've kind of mushed up my berries. And then the next step is to put in the yogurt. In a lot of ways, the exact amounts don't matter. This isn't like baking, which is a lot like chemistry, where you need to get proportions exactly right. Here you can just kind of make it up as you go along. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this entire tub of yogurt. In the times that I've tried to make this recipe, I've discovered that if you use a yogurt that is made out of whole milk, your frozen yogurt bites won't be quite as icy. But today I'm using this non-fat yogurt. Then I'm gonna just mix it all up. See how the white mixes with the berries and it turns the whole thing a purplish color? So see, that's what it looks like right now. Now my next step is putting the muffin tin, the muffin papers in the tin. Like I said, I've got the silicone one, but just to show you what to do, I'm gonna go ahead and put the paper in. If you've got a silicone one, you don't necessarily need the papers. And this container needs to go into your freezer, so make sure that you have a space that's big enough. My other muffin tin is quite large. It holds like 24, and I have a little bit of trouble getting it into my freezer. Now we're going to put in the granola. I like the crunchiness that granola gives. You just need to put a little bit in each one, not a ton, because you definitely need to leave room for the yogurt. I'm the type of person who likes my food to have different textures in it. If you like your food to be smooth, then you can go ahead and leave the the granola out, it's fine. And you can mush your fruit up a little bit more. And then you go ahead and put a little bit of yogurt into each of these cups. If you've got a lot of ingredients, you could definitely make more than just the 6 that I'm doing right here. And you can fill the cups all the way up to the top if you like. Like I said, if you don't have a muffin tin, you can just put this in a container that fits into the freezer. But since the papers spread out when you put yogurt in them, you do want to pack the container rather tightly so that they don't completely flatten out and they just press up against each other to hold their shape. Ooh, I'm really looking forward to this. It's getting so hot outside right now that I find frozen yogurt to be a really nice treat. This is something that you could have for breakfast, or you could have it as a snack. It does take a couple of hours to freeze up, so don't expect to eat it right away unless you decide that you don't want to eat it frozen, because you don't have to wait for it to freeze. You can eat it right now if you like. I've got some more yogurt and my cups are almost full, so I'm gonna just go ahead and fill in some of the other little wells I have here. If you're using plain yogurt and adding honey, I would put a little bit of honey in at a time, mix it up, and then take a taste. Use a clean spoon each time you take a taste, unless you're the only one who's going to be eating the frozen yogurt bites, because people don't want your germs. And then you just add a little bit more honey until it's the right amount of sweetness for you. Okay, and then remember how I had those berries? Well, what I'm gonna do is put a few on top for decoration. I'm gonna put this strawberry right there. And I'm gonna put the blueberry on this one. And then I've got, once again, those are blackberries, and I'm gonna put a couple blueberries on this one. And let's see, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put some more granola on top, just to make them pretty, because food that looks appetizing is, you're more likely to eat it. That's how come when you go to restaurants, sometimes they plate your food really nice so that it looks fun and appetizing and yummy to eat. And then I'm gonna leave a couple with nothing on top. So the next thing you need to do is put them in your freezer for a couple of hours. I would ask an adult for help because frozen yogurt bites are really yummy in your tummy. They are less yummy when it's spilled all over your freezer. And I took out some other frozen yogurt bites that I had made a while ago so that I could show you what it looks like. Like I said, you could do it in a container. And when you're ready, can you see that? Doesn't that look good? I didn't put any toppings on this one. And when you're ready to eat it, you just peel it. If it's been in the freezer like overnight for longer than 2 hours, I like to give it about 5 minutes to defrost a little bit so it's not like biting into an ice cube. But, oh, and you can see the granola that I have on the bottom. So it doesn't matter that the granola is all loose in the cup, because once you put the yogurt on top of it and you freeze it, it'll all stick on there. That's so good. It's like the taste of summer. I've got berries in there. I've got the yogurt, which is a little bit tart. I've got the granola for the crunchiness. I'm really enjoying that. And I can't wait to share the ones that I made with the rest of my family. So the next thing that we're going to do is talk about eating the rainbow. I am not talking about the candy that tells you to eat the rainbow, but about fruits and vegetables and how colorful they are. So get out the piece of paper and then the marker and then the colored pencils or crayons or markers that you have. And at the top of the page, as a reminder of why we're going to do this, I'm going to write the name of the activity. Eat the rainbow. And it's like a little challenge to myself. Now, do you know the colors of the rainbow? There's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So 6 colors. So I'm going to make a color wheel with 6 colors, 6 sections. And first the circle. Divide it in half. And then you can go ahead and divide each half into 3 sections so that you have 6 parts to your circle. It's okay if they are not all perfectly even. For eating the rainbow, I'm also going to count white as a color, but I'm just going to make that be the area around the circle. So you need to start coloring it in. We're going to start with red. When you're done with your color wheel, what you need to do is put it someplace, probably in your kitchen, where you will remember it. And every single time you look at it, you will remind yourself to eat the rainbow. As you eat each thing, you can go ahead and fill in that section of the color wheel. So first there's red, then there's orange, do you know any fruits and vegetables that are orange? So of course, there's the orange itself. Other examples would be sweet potatoes, carrots, melons are yellow, butternut squash is yellow. I think the inside of a papaya is yellow, even though the outside is green when it's still unripened and then gets yellow, the riper and riper it gets, but the inside's orange. Then comes yellow. Do you know any examples of fruits and vegetables that are yellow? So bananas are yellow on the outside but white on the inside. And when it comes to things like papayas or bananas and they're different colors on the inside and outside, it really doesn't matter which category you put it in, because the main idea is to just eat a variety. So it's up to you how you want to categorize it, by the color it is on the inside or by the color it is on the outside. So red, orange, yellow, green. There are so many delicious green fruits and vegetables. There's grapes and kiwis for your fruit. Have you had a kiwi? I like cutting them in half and scooping out the flesh with a spoon. And then for vegetables, there's lettuce, peas, green bell peppers, edamame, kale. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue is the next section. So I'm gonna get my blue crayon and color it in. My son's colorblind, so whenever he has to do something that's color-coded, he always has to check the label on the crayon or the marker or the colored pencil to make sure that he's got the right color, because he has trouble telling the difference between blue and purple just by looking at it. It's a little bit harder for me to come up with blue vegetables. Blue fruits would be obviously the blueberry. Have you ever had a boysenberry? Some people consider those to be blue. And then there's blackberries, which obviously has the word black in the name, but some people consider those to be blue as well. I don't know though, because when I get those on my countertop and it stains and then I wipe it up, it leaves a purple stain. So I think I'm gonna put it in the purple category, which is our last section. So you should hang this up on your refrigerator or have it in your kitchen, like I said. And whenever you see it, it'll be a visual reminder that you should try to eat the rainbow. And by doing that, you're eating a variety of fruits and vegetables. So what you do is throughout the day, as you eat your fruits and vegetables, you go ahead and label it. So this frozen yogurt bite that we just made had strawberries in them. So I'm gonna put that under red. And it had blueberries. And I'm gonna put the blackberries under purple. See, like that. So later on today, like for dinner, I'm probably gonna have a salad. So I'm gonna put lettuce in the green part. And in my salad, I usually like to have tomatoes, which are red, and carrots, which are orange. When I had breakfast this morning, I had pineapple under yellow, and then I also had half of a banana, which I'm gonna put under white because I don't have anything in the white category yet. Another good way to remember to eat fruits and vegetables is to leave them out so that they're not out of sight, out of mind. They're in front of you, and they're kind of tempting you. So that's why I've got fruits out on my table. I have a papaya, some oranges, and apples. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on my color wheel. Oranges under orange, of course. The apples are red on the outside, but white on the inside. And I'm just gonna put that in the white category. And then, like I said, the papaya, it's green when you get it, then it gets yellow as you ripen it, and you cut it in half, and it's orange on the inside. So you take your color wheel and you put it up someplace where you will see it a lot. I'm gonna put it up on my refrigerator. This is also where I keep my Camp Crate Joy Health and Wellness bingo sheet. If you don't have a printer to print it out, you can look at it on the screen and then copy it down on a sheet of paper. Do you know how to play bingo? You try to get 5 down, 5 across, or 5 diagonally. And an even bigger challenge would be to do every single activity so that all the squares are covered in. This is something that's not just for kids, grown-ups can do it too. So I challenge everyone that you live with to try this. Some of them are pretty easy because we just did one of them, learn how to make a new recipe. We did that with the Froyo Bites. There's lots of exercise in here, which is another part of Camp Crate Joy. And there's eating the rainbow and incorporating healthy daily habits, such as choosing water for your drink or remembering to brush and floss your teeth every day. Good luck with the challenge. Now that you've learned how to do popcorn push-ups and make Froyo Bites, the last thing that we're going to do at today's session of Camp Crate Joy with Girl Scouts of Central Texas is a fun twist on the obstacle course. Have you ever watched one of those spy movies where the spy has to make it through a room filled with lasers without tripping any of them in order to grab an object and then make their escape? Well, that's what we're going to do today, except I don't have any lasers, so instead I'm going to use yarn and tape in order to put it up, and then scissors to cut the yarn. So the first thing you need to do is pick a good location. You might want to put this maze up for a few days, so you don't want to have it be in any place where someone's going to be really annoyed that they have to go through an obstacle course each time they want to get through it. So for example, right in front of the bathroom would be a bad idea because someone might bust through your entire maze in order to get to the bathroom. The next thing you do also is make sure you have a tape that doesn't leave any residue and that is not going to lift any of the paint off your walls. Just like when Girl Scouts go into the outdoors, you want to remember to leave no trace. You don't want to leave any bits of tape left on the wall, and you definitely don't want to have any spots where the paint is missing after you take the tape off. So I have already set up a few pieces of yarn. I've got one here, one down here. But my daughter pointed out that it was a little bit too easy to get through because everything's connected to this table down here. And so it was really easy to just walk across on top of everything over by the table. So I'm going to put up a couple more pieces that's going to make it difficult for a person to just stand up and walk across the whole thing, and maybe a lower piece to make it harder for someone to crawl under the entire thing. You want to make it to where a person has to go up and down and around. So I'm going to take one piece of tape and put my yarn on this table that is right in front of me. Let's see. So I've got the yarn. I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to, just to make it easier, I'm going to tear a piece of tape stick it on my arm so it's ready to go. I think I'm gonna do 2 more so that I can do 2 pieces of yarn really easily. Okay, I'm gonna put the yarn in my hand, the tape on my hand, and I'm gonna pull it over to the, across to the top of this piano. Ooh. So I'm gonna cut that piece of yarn. And then I'm going to take, you also need to make sure you don't break any of the yarn as you set up your obstacle course. I've got that piece that I just put up. Let's see, it needs to be a bit tighter so that it's higher. Okay, now that's gonna be hard to walk across. And then I'm gonna put another piece down here on the table. And I'm gonna run it across to the couch. Ooh, like I said, don't bust any of the yarn while you're trying to set up your course. Okay, I'm gonna leave these 2 pieces there. I'm gonna tape it underneath this cushion so it's a nice, I think I'm gonna make it even lower. I want this to be hard so that someone can't just crawl under the whole thing. Okay, so let's see. Now, let me get back to you. So you can make this a contest and time how long it takes in order to get somewhere and back. So I'm gonna try to get across and get that doll that's sitting on the piano and then come back again. So why don't you time me and you can tell me how I did, okay? Ready, set, go. Ooh. Oh dear. Okay, that one that I just put up is definitely making this a lot harder than it used to be. The last time I did this, I was able to crawl under everything, but I can't do that now. Okay, grab the doll. And I'm gonna try to go under this time. I am gonna crawl under, but I have to get really low to do this. Oh, I broke the yarn. Well, I think that adds 10 seconds to my score. Okay, so 45 seconds plus the 10-second penalty, so 55 seconds. So if you were here, I would have you try to race me and see if you could beat that time. So try setting up an obstacle course in your own house. Remember to choose a space that's convenient to have an obstacle course up in and to pick a good tape that's not gonna leave residue or take the paint off the walls. After you set it up, you can challenge others to compete against you, and if you break a piece of yarn or take it off, then there's a 10-second penalty. Hope you had fun at today's Camp Crate Joy. There's lots of other activities and sessions they have planned for you. And if you want to take a look at what Girl Scouts of Central Texas has to offer, just go to gsctx.org. Bye for now.